Today's video shows you how a Sandpoint works and also kind of the internal workings of it, and then how we prime it. Priming is the hardest part of Sandpoint wells, so check that out. Feel free to skip to the end. The beginning is kind of me telling you a little bit of how it works and stuff, but check that out. In general, Sandpoint wells are around bodies of water. Bodies of water indicate that the aquifer is pretty shallow, so that's why we can have a Sandpoint well. Check out the view at this cabin that we did the last Sandpoint at. As the name suggests, this is a Sandpoint right here. Now, we got the big head on the bottom. That's for penetrating the soil. And then you can see here that we've got these bigger holes and then a fine mesh right there. And then on the inside, it might be hard to see, but the pipe, this pipe actually extends all the way down with larger holes. Now that's the structure of it. We're gonna beat the crap out of this thing with a jackhammer, so that's what takes the strength. And then this fine mesh is what prevents sand and stuff from getting in your well. Now, when we hit it, we use one of these. This is a drive cap, just a big chunk of steel or iron or whatever. And we pound, we've got like a cup that fits on this that we pound it down. So let's say the table is grade, this is the soil. We would pound this down until it gets to about a foot deep. And then we need to add an extension. Now, the reason we have to do this in 3-foot chunks is because if this is grade and we're a foot down, we have to get an 80-pound jackhammer all the way up here. So it's just heavy to lug the thing all the way up. You know, usually we end up using a ladder. If we had a machine that could pound it from 10 foot tall, then we would use 10-foot pieces. But you also don't know where you're gonna end. You know, so you might pound this thing down 15 foot and it's good. So you don't wanna use a 10-foot pipe because then you're gonna be stuck. I just wanted to show you guys this too. This is a normal 1.25" coupler. These are cast, I believe. So they make a print in the sand and then they just pour it in there. And then I think they cut the threads after that. I'm not a metallurgy guy, so I don't know. But this is the drive coupler. These, I believe, are forged. So they're pounding the metal while it's hot and then they drill the threads in. So we want to use these, not these. These guys can crack under pressure. These guys were built with pressure. Okay, let's do a demonstration here. So let's say that the Gatorade is the aquifer down below and the cap is grade. So we have punched our Sandpoint all the way down. The problem is the Sandpoint is not primed. So in a normal pump, our pump is a submersible pump and it sits down here. But on a Sandpoint, this pump is up top. And the Sandpoint pumps can't suck this water out, or they can't create their own prime. They can, but it's hard. Why? Let's look at that. Okay. Oh, blade. Anyways, here's the metal housing. There's nothing really crazy to it. It's just a cavern. There's a couple little sections there. And then here's your impeller. Now this impeller is plastic, and you got these little fins here. Spins like this. So it's kind of scooping the water with it. But there's no seal, right? This is just plastic on plastic and roughly metal. So this is more just pushing or kicking the water than anything else. This is an example of a self-priming pump. This is my Milwaukee transfer pump. Now if we take this guy off, you can see there's a sealed section here, and this is rubber. Okay, so when these guys spin, they create this vacuum, and it actually creates like an airtight vacuum. So the rubber will self-prime, the plastic will not. I think the reason they use the plastic is because it's gonna have more longevity. This rubber, although it works great for what we do, it's not gonna run for 10 years. In fact, I just replaced this the other day, the impeller. So we've established why we need prime. Now we're gonna do a demonstration on how we're gonna get prime, and then you'll see a video of me actually doing it. So we have our Sandpoint driven down into the aquifer. Now we're gonna put a reservoir on top of it. I just have a little hole cut here. It doesn't have to be exact, but the closer you get, the less of a mess you're gonna make. We're just gonna put that on top of our Sandpoint, and then we're going to pour water into there to fill that Sandpoint, and as it fills, it will displace the air inside the Sandpoint, and then we can cap it off. So let's see if we can do it. Okay, so we can see the Sandpoint is now filled with water. Now I'm gonna plug it. The plug in this case would be either like the plug at the top of the T that you'll see in a bit, or the check valve. It's not a perfect demonstration, but now you can see that our Sandpoint, our straw, hopefully you can see inside there, has the blue Gatorade inside it. So we've now primed the Sandpoint. Now you can watch me do it in real life. This is a Sandpoint well system. We just did this for a customer. It was an existing Sandpoint. The Sandpoint is like a straw that's going down to this spike, which we call the Sandpoint. It's usually about 30 foot deep. And then we hit this T. This is critical. Try to plumb one of these in because this is your check valve. We cannot go backwards. This only allows for water flow in one direction. So if we want to get back here and prime this, we need an access point. And then we have access already on the pump. We already have an access here as well. But it's critical that we have access right here. Because this is two different sections, we're going to prime them both differently. I'll do the pump first just because I have the jug of water sitting here. But there's different ports on these. We're just going to open the top port. Maybe. What differentiates a Sandpoint well from a normal submersible well is the pump is up top. Sandpoint well can't suck as far down as a normal pump. They're only good for maybe like 80 feet at the deepest ones we see. We're just going to set him aside because he's ready to go. So the plan is, we're going to use the funnel, and we're going to fill up this pump housing, and it's going to fill this pipe back to this check valve here. So we're just going to do that. When you're priming your pumps, don't be using lake water. Try to use good clean water. Technically, if we're dumping water down the aquifer, we want to have it chlorinated. We should be there soon. Oh, we are there. Okay. All right. So we can see the water level is right there. So it's not going back down right now because of this check valve being in the way. So we're just going to put this cap back on. If you're priming, you don't need to screw this on super tight to do the work. But usually I only need to do it once with the method that I use here. Okay. Some guys will repeatedly fill this and hope it sucks up. We've done quite a few of these. We just got a method now. All right, so now we can say that this portion is primed. Now we're going to work on this portion. This guy, just have this lightly screwed on. He's already prepped. You want to prep yours too, because it's going to be go time in a second, and then it's going to be quick, quick, quick. So you can see it goes straight down there. It's hard to see, but now we're going to be filling the Sandpoint and this chunk of pipe here. The Sandpoint we're going to be battling the whole time because gravity's going to want to drop the water down to the level of the aquifer. So, to deal with this, we're going to use our jug. This is the reason I wanted the jug. And we've got 1 bucket of water. I'm just going to dump the rest of the jug down here because I need it. Okay, we're going to cut the end off the top here. You don't have to use a jug, but you have to be able to fit your hand in it. So we're just going to cut this, and the bigger the better, just because then it's easier to fill. You'll see that in a sec. Some guys, want us to build a more permanent solution. I just get these from Quick Trip. There. All right, there's that. Now we need to get this guy to fit like that. It fits right now, but we want it to seal around here. And I want to be able to reach the inside of the threads from the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start cutting away. I want this jug to wrap around this rim here. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but the more perfect you get it, the less leaks you're going to have during this process. See, it's not perfect. Okay, got her on there. See that? Okay, what we're going to do is fill this guy up, and as it's filling, we're going to see air bubbles coming up as the air
comes out of the Sandpoint. Once the air bubbles are done, then we are going to reach in the water. We want it to be submerged and screw this on, finger tight. We want it to be submerged so that we don't allow any air in there. Let us commence. We'll get you out of the way a little bit here. Oh my God, I should have brought smaller pails. All right, you see the air? Okay, we have no more. Oh, we got a little air. Yeah, a little bit. I think we're done. Oh, see, I let it go. Now it's going back down the hole. I'm trying to use my left hand. There we go. Yeah, I'll have to get a shot back. Damn it. Okay. There we go. Now, we'll tighten her up. Theoretically, we shouldn't have to come back in here now. Okay. Now, we should be primed from the bottom to the check valve. So now we're just going to plug her in and see if it'll go. Valve's off over there. Sometimes you got to crack it just a little bit to let some of that air out. We'll let just a little bit out here on the top. Oh no, it is catching. See that? These Sandpoint wells, we're only expecting about 5 to 10 gallon a minute out of it. There we go, we hit the pressure tank. Oh. That probably was the diaphragm kind of snapping free of that tank. All right, we'll watch it here now. Our off point, I think, is 50. Yeah, our cutoff is 50, so we're going to see if we can get 50 out of it. Look at that. Frickin' magic.